Of the 9 lawmakers on the January 6th committee, Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney is one of just 2 Republicans and the only one seeking re-election. Though she's won national praise from critics of former President Donald Trump, her role as vice chair of the congressional panel investigating the attack on the Capitol may cost her her congressional seat in the state where Trump scored his largest win in 2020 with 70% of the vote.
He refused to defend our nation and our Constitution.
The latest University of Wyoming poll released this week shows Cheney trailing her closest opponent, Trump-backed Harriet Hageman, 28 to 57.
And stopping the radical Pelosi-Cheney agenda in D.C.
The winner of the August 16th primary will almost certainly be elected to Congress in November.
And I will always stand for my oath and stand for the truth.
While she has tried to portray her committee role as a principled stand against lies, many Wyoming voters see it as an unwarranted act of disloyalty to their party's charismatic leader. Keith Brooks is one such Wyoming voter.
I think it's personal for Cheney, and I think we're already seeing the results in American politics of, people in conservative places that voted to impeach Trump. They're losing their chairs. Liz isn't here finding out what we want her to do. You know what I mean? She's not representing us. She's representing her own interests.
But former Speaker of the Wyoming House, Tom Lubnow, says that Cheney and Hageman, both of whom come from very politically active families in the state, actually hold very similar policy positions.
So what's the difference? One is supported by Trump and supports Trump, and one is not supported by Trump. That is the only really distinguishing issue in the race.
Despite voting in line with Trump 92.9% of the time, Cheney, the 55-year-old daughter of former U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney, is Trump's biggest midterm election target in a revenge campaign against perceived enemies in the Republican Party.
Look at this Liz Cheney. Is she unhinged? Let's use the word unhinged, a horrible word.
Cheney's opposition to Trump has led to her ouster from the House Republican leadership, a Republican National Committee censure, and a decision by the Wyoming Republican Party to no longer recognize her as a member.
I'm voting for Liz Cheney, and here's why.
And despite a campaign advantage of more than $10 million, she is trailing Hageman and has had to appeal to voters outside the Republican Party to switch and vote for her in the primary, even enlisting her father to appear in ads. Cheney's defeat would mean a symbolic win for Trump as he considers whether to run for the White House again in 2024. Many also believe that Cheney will launch her own presidential campaign if she loses in Wyoming.